Hi, welcome back to Indigo Smokes Tarot and Astrology. I'm Indigo, aka Alexis. As I stated in the first recording of this, I guess, mini-series, I feel more like Alexis in this particular video. I don't really feel like Indigo. But, so this is part 3 to my kind of decoding of the symbolism that is in Blackisking. I have so many notes here. I got most of them down, though. I only have maybe 3 or 4 more pages, so this video shouldn't be as long as the first one. But anyways, I think I ended the last video, I think I ended part 2 talking about the spiritual significance of water, and there was a man who was also talking about the spiritual significance of water in Blackisking that was kind of a segue into me explaining the relevance of, water signifying life, purity, hope, and the ability to be reborn. Hence why, you'll see in pretty much most religions, cultures, there's a certain sacredness about water, and you will see that via baptism, and in African traditional religions, you'll see that in the form of spiritual baths and people making offerings to rivers and oceans to show respect, honor, and reverence for the element of water and the deities that preside over it, aka Yemaya and Oshun. So I think I stopped at the Pharrell quote, and like I said, talking about the water. So I'm not sure what song this next part is going into, but once again, if you've seen Blackisking, or if you're going to see, it'll all make sense to you. But anyways, so the next part after that is there's a man who is speaking, and I'm going to read his quote. He says, "Black men especially, we're not told to love ourselves. We're told we're supposed to hate each other. The world will always tell you that you're something else, for example, too dark, too short, whatever. We need to show that black men and women are emotional, or strong, or smart, or intuitive." And even though to me that's pretty self-explanatory, my little 2 cents on that would be, obviously, black and brown people, we are not stereotypes. We are so much deeper, and we have so much more range in all aspects of who we are. We are more than the stereotypes that we have been painted as and framed as. We are so much more than that. We have so much more depth and range and character and flavor than the stereotypes and I'm not gonna say that, but we're more than what we've been painted to be, especially black men, especially because they're demonized. They've always been demonized. After that, you will hear Beyonce say, "We have always been wonderful. Black is king. We were beauty before they knew what beauty was. Your skin shines like diamonds, pigment like earth. You be giving birth to everything alive, baby, know your worth. Same skin that was broken, be the same skin taken over." So, once again, melanated people, black people especially, the darker you are, the more racism and stereotyping you typically experience. Our skin has been literally and figuratively devalued, abused, and broken since damn near forever, and it's been made to seem worthless and value, and it's been demonized. And ironically, as I said in the previous videos, there's a spiritual energetic shift that we're going into. There's an enlightenment phase that a lot of melanated folk are going through, where we're turning home to our roots, our practices, what our truth is, our ancestry. And I personally think and spiritually think that you're going to see, or we're going to see, an uprise in melanated people, in the status of melanated people, and what we have to offer, and just the value that we naturally have. I.e., for example, when I say kind of like our status is raising, not that we were the lowest of the low, but just it's always been harder for us to, prosper in the European or Western paradigms, and that we're kind of breaking away from that. Seeing more melanated entrepreneurship, community building, a lot of more melanated people coming into wealth, not talking about celebrities, talking about the everyday people experiencing an increase in their status and in their wealth, and just knowing that we are and we have so much to contribute, right? So I think there's going to be a rise and an increase in us seeing that, just seeing the everyday melanated people kind of display their royalty and what makes us special. So there's that. So let me see. She says your skin shines like diamonds. Obviously, you will see the luminosity of, you know, melanated people. Our skin is absolutely beautiful, all shades. The darker, I've noticed, the darker, the more melanin, you really see a certain luminosity when the sun hits it. So she is speaking literally when she says, you know, your skin shines like diamonds. But also, and I think I said this in the previous video as well, when she is saying ice, drip, and diamonds, she's literally talking about melanin. Drip and ice equal melanin because the wealth and the value of gold and jewelry and silver have absolutely nothing on the inherent monetary and spiritual value that melanin itself has. And also, once again, our melanin absorbs light, hence we are crystalline beings. We're diamonds, literally, and our history shows that because melanated folk have been through so much oppression and repression and abuse, and still we shine. So that is both literal and figurative when she is saying we shine like diamonds. Let me see what else. I'm gonna elaborate a little bit more on that. She says we've always been wonderful, black is king, we were beauty before they knew what beauty was. So, and this can be verified with research, life originated in what we now know as Africa. That's already been discussed, that's already been proven, but you would never be able to tell that life originated in Africa and that being melanated is a thing to be valued and it's a blessing in and of itself. You would never be able to know that based on the society that we are currently in, and how quickly they forgot that, once again, life originated in Africa. There's a certain respect that should be given that has not been given up until this point. So there is that. And you will hear another man say, systematically, this is a quote from Black is King, he says, systematically we've had so much taken from us. Being a king is taking care of what's yours, not just for selfish reasons, but to actually build up the community. That's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to elaborate too much on that. You hear, you know, a lot of talk about kingship and just basically taking your power back and the responsibility that entails. So we're not meant to just take our power back just for ourselves. We're meant to do it for the next generation. Okay. The next generation of children should not have to go through the same level of oppression and repression that we have and our ancestors did. There should be a change. There should be an evolution to that. Their journey and their status should be a lot easier for them to display and enjoy. So we should be making it easier for the next generation to know their roots, know their worth, their value, and the spiritual aspect of their ancestry and their roots. So I think that quote is a segue into her song Keys to the Kingdom, or TikTok, either or. So I'm gonna say some of the lyrics that are in that song. So it says, TikTok, pretty baby, you can get it back, don't you waste it. To grow from your past, you gotta face it. You're the key to the kingdom. You're the remedy. Don't know what's inside, but you're the key to the kingdom, so believe. My interpretation of that is, first of all, time is ticking. So the time to find yourself and know yourself and do your research and own your shit is right now. We've had so much of our time wasted and so much taken from us that now is the time to reclaim it. So TikTok, you can get it back, don't you waste it. You can get your mojo, your power, your status back, us as melanated people, if we face our past. You know, you have to know your history, you have to know your past, and you have to face it in order to be able to move forward without making the same mistakes or encountering the same exact obstacles that, you know, we've encountered or our ancestors encountered in the past. So quit wasting time. Right now is a time to do this work, to do this research, to reclaim what is yours, to get your shit back, basically, because it was stolen from us. And so where am I? To claim what's yours, you have to believe it. Like, it's one of those things where me, Beyonce, anyone else who has a certain level of spiritual knowledge, we can tell melanated people over and over again, you are this, you are king, you are royal. But if you yourself as a melanated person do not believe it, everyone else's hands are, our hands are tied. You know, it's one of those things where you have to know it and feel it for yourself, and you have to own that shit. No one can do that for you. You're the key and the remedy for yourself. It's in you, you know. Even if you don't know what's inside, it's time to find out. It's time to embrace it. It's time to release any fear or programming that could hold you back from doing so. Belief and knowledge is crucial. You're the key. So innately and inherently, you are the key, but also the key to you knowing that is your own belief in it, and you supporting that belief with knowledge and facts. So next part, you will hear a woman say, if after the song Key to the Kingdom, you will hear a woman say that if kings or queens realize that being equal, sharing spaces, ideas, values, strengths, weaknesses, balancing each other out, that is the way of our ancestors. That is the African way. You know, it's always, our culture originally was about community. It wasn't about being selfish. It wasn't about, well, I'm good, figure that shit out for yourself. No, it was very much family and community based. So it's kind of saying, return to that, build your legacy, reclaim your royal, you know, ancestry, heritage, so that you can pass it on to your children, so that your children don't have to go through the ignorance and the struggle that us and our ancestors have had to go through. Also, this is still a quote from the same woman. The royalty in you is there for you to be a blessing to others, for you to leave a legacy that others can look to and find hope and strength and healing and guidance. And so my interpretation of that would be, this is essentially what Beyonce is doing. Her art is a part of her legacy. So yes, Blackisking is dedicated to her son, but it's also dedicated to all melanated folk. It's dedicated to all black or melanated children. Okay, it's not just for her son. It's a work of art. It's a sacrifice that is given to the entire world for melanated folks to wake up, right? So this is what Beyonce is doing through her art, and she's speaking to her community of melanated folk to, one, it's a part of her legacy, but also to encourage melanated folk to build their own legacy, starting by reclaiming our ancestral ways, our ancestral practices, our heritage, knowing ourselves. In order to know where you're going, you gotta know where you come from. Dun, 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 dun. In Blackisking, there's so many spiritual gems that are dropped, and a part of the reason why I'm even doing this, this mini series or this video, is just so that, you know, just so that it's out there, because I feel like it's important. Okay, so I did that already. After that particular scene, you will hear Beyonce say, "Child of dust, return to the river. Your roots and your story will be reborn." So basically, child of dust, children of the earth, we are of the earth. We are the salt of the earth. Return to the river. Oshun, once again, she owns the river. Return to your origin. Return to your roots. Also, your roots and your story will be reborn. This once again talks about ancestors reincarnating. Ancestors, descendants, we infinitely reincarnate through each other. We give birth to our ancestors through our children, essentially. So your roots and your story will be reborn via reincarnation, through giving birth to your ancestors through your children, having a legacy. Return to that. After that, you will hear a man say that we've been conditioned to be inside of a box, and we've been created with this image that black men are supposed to be this way. And as kings, we have to take responsibility of stepping outside of those barriers that they've put us in for the next generation. So that's basically what I just said. It's pretty self-explanatory in my personal opinion, but once again, we are more than what we've been told, and we have to fully realize and own that. There's no sense of clinging to old ways or old paradigms that honestly were never for us, and they have never served us. So right after you hear that the man say that particular quote, you will see a black man who is, you know, you've seen him as a child. Now he's an adult. He's returned home, and I'm assuming he's either touching his grandmother or his mother, I don't know, but you see him ascending literally into light. So this is referring to, one, us needing to rise. This talks about spiritual ascension. This talks about, once again, our melanin being able to absorb that light, us being anointed or Christos beings. And also, like I said, the rise of melanated people and us needing to take an active approach in rising, both in status and spiritually, as far as enlightenment and ascension, knowing ourselves. Know thyself. And it's honestly time. It's long overdue. We've been disconnected from who we really are for so long that we really think that the paradigms and the structures that we've been born into as of recently are our truth, and that's not necessarily so. After that, you will also see another visual going into the next song. There are women who are covered in red clay from their hair all the way down to their feet, and they are leaning against a hut that is covered in lavender and blue flowers. Okay, those colors within themselves are symbolic. Okay, red and blue, masculine and feminine merging together. Blue, red, that equals purple. Purple is the crown chakra. It is royalty. It is enlightenment. Okay, it's also signifying balance because those masculine and feminine energies are merging together. Okay. Also, in conjunction with that particular visual, you'll see two people. I think it's two guys, but I cannot be sure. One has dreads and the other one doesn't. So I think it's two men. But either way, it's symbolizing that red and blue coming together for that balance, for that royalty, for that enlightenment, for that overall ascension. Okay. What else? So after that, you hear another man say, or probably the same man, honestly I'm not sure, I can't remember, but you'll hear a man say, people don't remember who they were, what they were taken from, and why people tried so hard to make us forget. There's something about kingship and walking with your head high and not disrespecting your crown by bowing your head. Once again, to me, that is pretty self-explanatory. And it's basically what I've been saying throughout all three of these videos, is that we've forgotten who we are, and no one outside of ourselves is going to hand that information and that knowledge to us on a silver platter, because that goes against the paradigm that those who created this system to oppress us, they're not going to give us this information. It's up to us. So after that particular quote, you will hear Nyjah. It's going into another song and another video. Okay, Beyonce and her dancers are in red, and they're dancing against a white background. So you hear Nyjah say, "They'll never take my power. They feel away. Refer to me as a goddess, tired of being modest. 100 degrees to the hottest. If we being honest, ebony and ebonics, black people win. They say we being demonic, angel in disguise. I hate I have to disguise it. Why you gotta despise it? Rich in mind. I carry all the power. It's time to realize it." Once again, I'm pretty sure that most of you by this point already know what I'm going to say in regards to that. But once again, we should already know who they are. That shouldn't need to be explained at this particular point, especially if you are a melanated person. No shade. Anyways, this is basically her saying, we are gods and goddesses. Are we the supreme being? No, but we are aspects of that supreme being. And just like we have a little bit of our parents' essence in us, it's the same thing with the supreme creator and who we are. You can't believe in God and call yourself a child of God and not be, in essence, a god. It doesn't make sense. So there's that. So she's basically like, I'm reclaiming, call me a goddess. You know, that should be our mindset moving forward. And like I said, when you do your research and you know your history, you'll see how much that makes sense. Once again, black people win. They say they being demonic, angel in disguise. So once again, black people in general, melanated people in general, have been demonized, especially when it comes to our spiritual practices. And that needs to stop, at least within our culture and our community. Who cares what people external to the melanated community think about our practices? We should know the truth about our practices, and we shouldn't let non-melanated folk scare us away from our own shit. That's just, you're forsaking your own ancestors, your own heritage, and that within itself is just really sad. So she says, once again, I hate I have to disguise it. Why you gotta despise it? Talking about basically those who colonized and have been systematically oppressing melanated folk. We've had to play ourselves down, play into cookie cutter, you know, roles and paradigms to make them happy so that they will approve of us and validate us. And we don't need to do that anymore. We honestly never did, but now more than ever it's easier, and it's getting easier and easier for us to be ourselves and speak our truth and just, you know, act from that place of, you know, royalty and being regal, right? Once again, rich in mind, knowledge, knowing. When you know better, you're supposed to do better. And carry all the power. It's time to realize it. Once again, people external to you, melanated folk otherwise, can tell you until we are blue in the face that, you know, that you're royal and that you come from royal ancestry and that you have spiritual significance as a melanated person. But if you don't believe it and you don't use it and you don't have the knowledge to back it up, there's nothing that anybody can do for you. You have to want it for yourself. It's time for you to realize it. TikTok. Also, so going into both the lyrics and the imagery, after Nyjah says, you know, they'll never take my power, Beyonce says, she's in all red, her dancers are in red, they're dancing against white. Beyonce says, this that rhythm, this that lightning, this that burn, this ain't no perm, this that nappy, this that herb, this that kinfolk, this that skinfolk, this that war, this that bloodline, ready for war, ready where you run, gotta protect my grace, keep it locked in a safe. So this is so very blatant, but anyways, what she is saying, first of all, she is channeling Shango. Shango is an Orisha. Shango, his colors are red and white. Once again, like her outfits, like the background she's dancing in, red and white are Shango's colors. Shango is the Orisha of fire, lightning, thunder, war, music, dancing. In his human life, he was a king. And her lyrics, this that rhythm, lightning, this that burn, she's talking about Shango. Okay, because like I said, he is the dancing male Orisha. He governs lightning and thunder. That's his thing. So she's channeling his energy in this particular portion of her video. So all of these lyrics are referring to Shango, and her words and her movements are channeling his energy. This is her giving honor to Shango. And also, even though Shango is a male Orisha, he can own both male and female's heads. So both men and women can channel that energy and essentially be a child of his energy. Once again, she said this that kinfolk, this that skinfolk. Once again, she's talking to melanated people. This that bloodline. Once again, knowing your bloodline, knowing your ancestry. Ready for war. Once again, Shango, he governs war, he governs dancing, he governs fire, thunder, lightning. He's ready for war. He's the one that is a hot head. He does not take any disrespect, and she's saying that we should take on that same, you know, energy and perspective. Be ready for war. Be ready to fight for what is yours. Don't let anybody take away your power. Don't let anybody take away your spiritual knowledge. Don't let people or a system continue to oppress you by keeping you ignorant. Dun, 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 dun. She says, gotta protect my grace, keep it locked in a safe. Grace, of course, it means elegance, it means honor, it means dignity, glory. It also means, in Christian paradigm, divine favor, mercy, virtue coming from a divine source. So once again, protecting what makes us special, valuing our melanin, valuing our heritage, our ancestry, our spirituality, our practices as melanated people. That's something to be protected. That's something to be guarded as a treasure, because that's exactly what it is. Keep it locked in a safe, keeping it safe. Okay. Also, grace could be equivalent to mojo in the context that she's saying. Okay, so protect your mojo, protect what makes you special, melanin, your ancestry, your practices of, you know, spirituality. Protect it. Don't let people steal it from you. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, that's what that means. She's channeling Shango in that. And then we segue into this is the last paper, yay. So she says, Beyonce, the Orishas hold your hand through this journey that began before you were born. We never forget to say thank you to the ancestors, noble and royal, anointed our blessings in the stars. So I think this is the intro to Rise Up, her song where she's singing in the church. She's in yellow and she's surrounded by a choir that is in purple. So I believe that song is called Rise Up, and that quote from her about the Orishas holding our hands or holding your hand, that's a segue into the song Rise Up. And obviously I take Rise Up, once again, that's talking about ascension, that's talking about melanated folk reclaiming their spiritual practices, their ancestral knowledge, all of that. Rise up. It's time to ascend. It's time to take and claim what's yours. You also hear her say that the magic happens while you're trembling. The stars, aka celestial ancestors, our celestial DNA. The magic happens while you're trembling. The stars gather around you. Your ancestors, celestial beings, gather around you. Even when you're in fear, when you're standing up for yourself, when you are claiming what is yours, your ancestors are here with you as you do that. She also says your destiny is coming close. Stand up and fight. Once again, she has songs where she has mentioned Ogun, and in her song before this one she's channeling Shango. Those are war Orishas. They're ready for war. They strategize for war. They defend what is theirs. So once again, your destiny is coming close. Stand up and fight. She's telling melanated folks to take what is theirs. Stand up for yourself. Reclaim what is yours. She literally reiterates this throughout the entire thing. She says, be one with the great I am. The great I am is the supreme being, the great creator of all that exists. So fighting, standing up for what is yours and fighting, that act within itself, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. You're aligning your energy with source, because that's the divine order of things. Okay, and you will see and hear that the song ends with, I think it's called Motherland or Parade, one of those. So whatever the song is, the ending song when you see the credits going up, I think it's called Motherland. I'm just going to call it Motherland because she says Motherland in the, the chorus. So she says, I'm going back to the South where my roots ain't watered down. Ancestors put me on game. Ankh charm on gold chains with my Oshun energy. Drip all on me. Ankh or dashiki print, hold up. Don't I smell like Nag Champa incense? Pure ice, ice, ice. Flooded on my wrist out, going up. Motherland drip on me. Melanin, melanin, my drip is skin deep. I can't forget my history is her story. So, once again, really coded. I'm reiterating the same things, but it's because she's literally saying the same thing, and I want people to see the pattern that is there, that she's reiterating. When she says drip, when she says diamonds, when she says ice, she's talking about melanin, okay? Not to say that she's not talking about diamonds. It could be a double entendre, but she's talking about melanin as far as symbolism, okay? Pure ice, diamonds, it's referring to melanin. The gold that she's talking about, gold is the highest vibrating metal. It represents, once again, enlightenment, ascension, royalty, divine, God source energy, all right? It also represents strength and royalty and being protected. She's saying flooded on her wrist out. Oh my gosh. If I explain the intricacies of flooded on my wrist out, I may confuse some people, so I'm not going to. Go look at, once again, asherastargoddess, and she can break that down in ABC form. But when she says flooded on her wrist out, she's talking about, once again, our DNA, plasma, our blood, our melanated blood, and so on and so forth. And right after that, she says going up, once again talking about rising up, ascending, enlightenment, spirituality, our vibration raising through the reclamation of our ancestral energy and gifts. Motherland drip on me. Africa, once again, melanin drip on me. She's covered in the ancestral protection of the motherland. Hold on, give me 1 moment. Sorry about that. So I was saying that when she's referring to drip, when she's referring to diamonds, when she's referring to ice, she's talking about melanin, and she says so herself. In the same song, Motherland, you will hear her say, melanin, melanin, my drip is skin deep. I can't forget my history is her story. So it's just reiterating what I'm already saying about the coded aspect of her saying drip and diamonds. It's referring to melanin because honestly, melanin is way more valuable than all the diamonds and jewelry and gold and silver in the world, if you want to be real about it. And if you do your research, you'll understand why I'm saying that. Alright, last page. Also, these are her lyrics. Being black may be the reason why they always mad. Yeah, been past them. I know that's the reason why they all big mad, and they always have been. Honey, come around my way, round my hive. Whenever mama say so, here I come. On my throne, sitting high, follow my parade. Talking slick to my folk, nip that lip like lipo. You hear 'em swarming, right? Bees is known to bite. Now here we come on the throne, sitting high, follow my parade. I'm for us, all black, all chrome, black owned. And my interpretation of that is, so once again, Oshun governs rivers, fresh water, honey, bees, the color yellow, the color amber, kind of like orange like. She governs all of that. So her saying honey come around my way, she's talking about her Oshun energy. Go around her hive. When she says mama, she could be talking about her actual mother. I'm sure her actual mother is initiated into Ifa or the Yoruba religion, honoring the Orishas, but she's talking about Oshun. Oshun is her spiritual mother because Oshun governs her head. Follow my parade, that's a double entendre as well. Of course, her song her song parade, but also she's saying follow her lead, or follow the same step that she's taking of reclaiming her spiritual history and her spiritual roots. You hear him storming right, bees is known to bite. She's saying that, so Oshun has so many different aspects to her. She is the Orisha of love and sensuality and beauty and sex and fertility, but she also has a warrior side to her. You know, if you screw over Oshun, she'll fuck you up. She has a warrior side to her. So she's saying, you hear him swarming right, bees is known to bite. She's saying just because she's a child of Oshun doesn't mean she's all love and light. She'll fuck you up if need be, spiritually, so on and so forth. Now here we come on our throne, sitting high, follow my parade. Once again, telling people to, melanated folks, to ascend onto their throne, claim it, act accordingly. She says, I'm for us. She's for melanated people taking back our power. All black, all chrome, black owned. Like I said, you will see an uprise in melanated folks being successful entrepreneurs, everyday people coming into riches and wealth. She's talking about that. She's encouraging that because she's obviously doing that herself, you know, for her own family. So also she has some more lyrics here. I didn't write them down because I would basically be writing down the whole song. So I'm going to look over here on the computer. So after she says, I'm for us, all black, all chrome, black owned. And ironically enough, even though I had the subtitles on when I was looking at Blackisking, and I know for a fact that she says, I'm for us, all black, all chrome. When you look up the lyrics on Google, it doesn't say I'm for us, but that is what she said. If you watch Black is King and you pay attention to the lyrics at the end, she does say I'm for us, all black. So after that, go a few down, she says, go figure, me and Jigga, 50-11 children, they like chick how. She says, I charge my crystals in a full moon. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Gemstones, crystals, jade, quartz, lapis lazuli, her stones, you charge them in the moon to increase their energy, increase their ashe, so that you can use them in your spiritual work and so they can keep your energy protected and balanced and empowered. So I don't know if she had issues having kids at any point, I'm not sure, but she's like, you know, how they got children, she got twins. It's like how, because she's spiritually protected, she's spiritually empowered by, you know, Oshun, who, like I said, if you're on Oshun's good side, she will give you all of the blessings and all of the sweetness that you can ask for. So she charges her crystals in a full moon. She said, you can send them missiles, I'm gonna send my goons. Baby sister repping Yemiya, you know, Solange, I'm sure she's referring to the fact that Solange is a child of Yemiya. Yemiya is depending on what you read, certain traditions will say that Yemiya is the sister of Oshun, and then some will say that Yemiya is the mother of Oshun. I'm not sure exactly which one is the truth. I think it just depends on the tradition. But whether she's actually talking about her real sister or not, She's saying, once again, her as a child of Oshun, she is the sister to Yemiya. All right, so spiritually, she's a sister to Yemiya, and literally her sister Solange is governed by Yemiya. So that's what that's saying. She said, you can send the missiles. I'm gonna send my goons. Baby sister repping Yemiya. Trust me, they gonna need an army. Talking about anybody who tries to come against her. She got the spiritual wherewithal to protect herself. Her spiritual goon, she will send them after whoever comes for her. Rubber bullets bouncing off of me. Made a picket sign off your picket fence. Take it as a warning. Once again, she's just warning people not to fuck with her spiritually because she got it on lock. She says waist beads from Yoruba. Once again, waist beads. They originally, so even though we currently see, if you look, that a lot of people wear waist beads for fashion, they have a lot of spiritual significance where they originate from in, you know, Yoruba. So waist beads can be, they always have a spiritual significance. You know, you can wear waist beads for, they can be designed for fertility, prosperity, literally anything, any kind of abundance, anything that you want, you can spiritually charge your waist beads to bring you certain blessings. So, you know, that's coinciding with her charging her crystals in the moon. How do her and, you know, Jay-Z have kids? You know, how she have twins? She has a spiritual ashe to manifest whatever she wants, you know, through her spiritual work. What else is here? She says, 400 Billy, Monster, stroll to the barbecue, put us any damn where, we gonna make it cute. Talking about melanated folk. Once again, black and brown people, we add a spice to life. We have a natural flavor, a natural rhythm that nobody can ever steal from us, no matter where you place us on the globe. Melanated people all over the world, whether you go to West Africa, whether you are going to India, whether you are going to, it really does not matter. Melanated folk, we add flavor and spice to everything that we do, no matter where we are, whether we are rich or poor, we add flavor, and that's just what it is. That's self-explanatory. So after that, she says, children running through the house in my art, all black. Ancestors on the wall, let the ghost chit chat. Once again, talking about her spiritual ancestry and letting the ancestors talk to each other. So having an ancestral altar, your ancestors being on the wall, is a form of having an altar and allowing them to spiritually communicate, you know, through that altar. So that's what she's referring to. Let the ghost chit chat, answers on the wall, let the ghost chit chat, hold my hands, we're gonna pray together, lay down, face down in the gravel. So once again, she's just talking about her spiritual practice and honoring the ancestors and, you know, incorporating them into her daily routine, because that is what you're supposed to do when you practice African spirituality. Your ancestors are supposed to be venerated. In common spaces like the living room, they're supposed to be a part of your normal daily routine to honor them. What else? Dun, 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 dun. She says, hold my hands, we're gonna pray together, lay down, face down in the gravel. We wearing all white attire to the funeral, black love, we're gonna stay together. So once again, as I stated in the previous video, in African traditional spirituality, wearing white, you do that for protection, you do that for blessings and peace and harmony. So as opposed to wearing black to a funeral, like I said, darker colors absorb energy. White and light colors reflect negative energy away. So when you're going into spaces like, you know, a cemetery or a hospital, you want to wear white because there are a lot of lower vibrational energies that can try and cling to you. So you wear white to spiritually protect yourself as opposed to black. So that is what she's referring to there. Wearing white spiritually protects your energy, your aura. So that's what that means. She says, you know, need another march, need peace and reparation for my people. Obviously, that's what she's been saying this whole time, and also the active role that we have to play in that. She said, fuck these laid edges, I'm gonna let it shrivel up. Once again, being natural, being effortless, not trying to conform to fit into a European standard, being beautiful whether, you know, your hair is nappy or straight. She said, fuck this fade in waves, I'm gonna let it all dread up. Put your fist up in the air, show black love. Motherland drip on me, motherland drip on me. So, and then after that, it just goes into everything that I already said and explained. And towards the end of the song, you will hear her say, we got rhythm, we got pride, we birth kings, we birth tribes, holy river, holy tongues, speak the glory, feel the love, motherland drip on me. I can't forget my history is her story. So once again, melanated people, like I said, we have rhythm, we have flavor, we have a certain special quality to us that no matter the odds and obstacles that have been placed in our way, we shine. There's nobody that has ever been able to steal that ability and that ashe from us. So I believe that concludes this. What else? So she says, talking slick to my folk, nip that lip like lipo. So once again, anybody who is, she's kind of referring to, you know, people who are racist, who don't like black people, who don't like melanated folk, talking slick to my people. She said, nip that shit. She doesn't stand for that. She doesn't support that. She does not support racism. She is for the uprise and upliftment of her people, melanated people, black people. And yeah, that is pretty much what Black is King means. Whew, song by song, visual by visual, that is what I gathered from it. I hope that provides some insight. I wanted to do this just because, once again, like the song even says, somewhere in there, our practices, African spirituality, Santeria, Voodoo, whatever path that you are practicing, it's not demonic. Even if you're not practicing and you're curious about it and you're Christian, it's not a bad thing. It's truly not. Our spiritual practices were here long before Europeans came over and enslaved and took African folk. Okay, so once again, remember your roots, know your history, do your research, and if you are feeling called to it or curious about it, go back to your spiritual roots. Okay, read up on African spirituality, see if it resonates, try it on, you know, see what it's like. Don't stay in a box of whatever you've been given. Most black people were born into some kind of Abrahamic religion, whether it's Muslim, whether it's Christian, and a lot of us are scared to get out of that. So more than ever, the time to step out of that box and free yourself from the constraints and the guilt and the shame and the fear and thinking that anything that isn't Christianity is evil. The time to do that is now, because doing so, you're reconnecting to your ancestors. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. I hope that this crosses the path of everybody who needs this information and who is curious about, you know, their roots, their history, their original spiritual practices. And I hope that, you know, people are open. I know that I'm sure Beyonce put this particular content out. It's her way of talking to her people and spiritually activating them and calling them to do the same thing that she did, which is, you know, return to your ancestral roots. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the interpretations. I hope they were easy to understand. I hope that like I said, this crosses the path of whoever needs it and needs further understanding. And I hope that, you know, watching Black is King emotionally, spiritually triggers you to reconnect to your truth, your ancestors. And, you know, I hope that you do so and you thrive and you ascend. And yeah, feel free to comment, tell me what you think. And also, if there are going to be any negative comments, you know, talking about this is demonic still, or Christians who are talking about Jesus saves, that's not what this video is about. And honestly, I don't care, because like I said, that's not why I'm putting this video out. I'm putting this video out for people who are open to it and people who are spiritually curious. Melanated folk is for you. Beyonce did it for us. It was for her son, Sir Carter, but it was also for, you know, the next generation, and, you know, just for adults to reconnect to their truth. So I hope this helped you to understand everything, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and mwah.